third thing, loved ones, is found there in 2 Corinthians 12. 2 Corinthians 12 and verse 7. It's page 1010. 1010. 2 Corinthians 12 and verse 7. And it's Paul telling of his own experience. He who was used to heal many people. He who, you remember, was bitten by a serpent and instead of being poisoned to death by it, was healed. He writes this in 2 Corinthians 12 and verse 7. And to keep me from being too elated by the abundance of revelations, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan, to harass me, to keep me from being too elated. 3 times I besought the Lord about this, that it should leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. I will all the more gladly boast of my weaknesses, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. It was some kind of disease of the eyes. It wasn't some sin. He wouldn't glory in a sin and call it a weakness. It was some disease of the eyes that the great healer himself had prayed and asked God to heal him. And God didn't remove the symptoms. But you see what he said, my strength is made perfect in your weakness. Even as you have the weakness of the physical symptoms in your body, my strength, the strength by which I raised Jesus from the dead, will give you strength and life to carry on as if you had no sickness. God heals that way at times. And the evidence is Paul's own life. Sometimes God will not remove the symptoms, will not in that sense heal completely, as we say. But he will give strength and life to carry on despite the symptoms and despite all the evidences that there are nails in the hands and a sword in the side, and yet the person is able to carry on as if there was no sickness in their body. So, of course, without any question, the dear girl was to die 3 years ago, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, she had the things under the armpits, you know, you ladies know, and it was lymph glands, and she had them removed, and then the breast cancer. And so 4 years ago, they gave her a year to live. So she should have died 3 years ago. When the little Rachel was 3, and little Peter was 1 year of age, she should have died 3 years ago, undoubtedly. Any of us who read those letters, harrowing letters, you remember, where the metastases had spread all throughout her body, so that she'd be sitting with Peter on her lap, and he would poke his elbow into her ribs and it would break a rib. I mean, you know the story. We read it here Sunday by Sunday when we put her letters into the bulletin. The poor girl had almost no body left. The thing was broken up in every way. When I went to see her, she was so small compared with the girl that I had known, because she had lost height. The whole body had taken such a beating. And yet God had obviously given her superhuman life and energy to carry on and to bring the children through those first years of school. And actually to help Serge, who is also a doctor, get the church started in Switzerland. So at times God will heal by giving strength, supernatural strength, to live despite the symptoms of sickness in your body.